Choices. What's up, socials? Happy Social Thursday. I'm getting a question frequently lately, and I just can't figure out why. Well, of course I know why. It's because that question is Meerkat or Periscope. If you have no idea what I'm talking about, bless you. These are the silliest names, honestly, I think I've ever heard in social media. Alright, maybe not. Meerkat and Periscope are the latest apps trending right now for live streaming from your phone. Because we needed things that were making life even more dangerously Googleable. Still a really fun concept for brands online, because when you can get people to show up to a live event, especially one that's going to disappear and not be able to be watched later, that can get some pretty activated people on your online space. Meerkat came out first, but Twitter's own little app, Periscope, came out recently, so now people are saying, which one do I go with? If you want to learn more about Meerkat, you can check out my video about that I did a couple weeks ago, but they're both pretty much the same. Except for when it comes to design, maybe. Twitter's app is definitely prettier, but I would say way busier. You get there and you're like, goodness gracious, I don't know what to do. Meerkat is much cleaner, there's less to do, there are still other people's streams that you may or may not follow, so you don't get disinterested, but it's not as distracting with too much stuff. That being said, the app isn't actually that pretty on Meerkat compared to Periscope, so yeah, that's pretty much the greatest difference in my opinion. Both apps require Twitter to work. All of the chatting activity happens through the functionality of tweeting. So it's funny, I guess if you have to pick one, you might want to go with the one that's actually owned by Twitter, I guess. You don't know that Meerkat's always gonna have the same functionalities going forward, and I'm sure that they are planning to not be reliant on Twitter. I actually did read that. But I would argue that the Twitter functionality integrated into these live streams is what makes it so awesome, because you're not having to join a social network and start over from scratch with your following. So when you're making the decision to go with a live streaming app, consider all of those things. Consider what your Twitter following is like, but most of all, who cares which app you go with? It's gonna work basically the same way. You're gonna promote it very similarly, and hopefully you're more thinking about an actual content plan for live streaming, one that's gonna be really interesting to your audience to keep them engaged and keep them thinking, I have to get on that guy's live stream, or if I miss it, it'll be gone forever. Getting people to talk like that is powerful. No, but really, you want people to be excited about your live streams, so the content has to be there, so plan for that accordingly, and then test out which app works best for you. That's all for today's socials. Thank you so much for tuning in. I appreciate it as always. Make sure you sign up for Amy's Elite so you don't miss a beat. That link is in the purple bar below. You'll get a free download of my 5 things you need to know before you create your first video blog. And speaking of video blog, the New York City Savvy Sexy Social Live event is coming up in a couple weeks, and early bird registration ends this Friday, so don't miss out on that. The link is in the description. I hope to see you in New York, where we're gonna make videos and network and come up with a strategy for you, and you're going to love it. So check that out. I'll be back tomorrow on the podcast, The Marketing Lifestyle Show, on iTunes, Stitcher, or you can listen at marketinglifestyleshow.com, and then I'll be back here on YouTube next week.